Welcome to another Swiggin Steve's Bargain Beer Reviews. But I'm not reviewing a beer today. I've had a bit of a session with my dad this weekend and I don't really feel like drinking any beer at this moment in time. Although I've got loads lined up and I will be reviewing more beer again soon. I like to keep on average about one every week, as much as I can. Sometimes two, sometimes more. It's more of a discussion really, more of a... I don't want it to be a rant, but more of a sort of my opinion, and I'm interested to see what other people's opinions are on this subject as well, actually, because it's something I feel quite strongly about. First of all, I just want to clarify that I do drink things other than bargain beers. People seem to think that I am tight with my money. I'm the first to admit that. But I do drink beers, craft beers all the time. And if you're interested in what I drink, sometimes I post them up on my page, so Steve Fiddler's page, on Facebook. So if you're interested in the other beers that I drink that aren't bargain beers, that's fine. I just kind of thought I'd go into that little niche with my bargain with reviews, and not only that, people are interested what they can find for a bargain, especially people that don't usually drink real ales. Might want to start on something that's cheaper so they're not wasting the money if they don't like it. Yeah, so anyway, what made me want to do this review today is this. Brooklyn Scorcher IPA. Came in at £1.50, so it weren't ridiculously expensive, but it came in a little craft ale can range. Now usually Brooklyn makes some really nice beers. Their Brooklyn Lager I love. It's one of my favourite American session-y type beers, I suppose. This, however, was quite simply disgusting. It was dire. It was the most disappointing drink I've had in a long time. Really, really, really disappointing. I can't even begin to tell you how horrible it was. It tasted like a really bad lager. It tasted like, well, I don't know. It just like really watery hops with a like sharp after finish, and that was basically it. Didn't have any other. It described itself. Brooklyn Scorcher IPA is a surprisingly feisty IPA. A floral, piney hop aroma strikes first, followed by a burst of mouth-watering bitterness, a hint of toasty malt, and a clean, lively finish. Try this with spicy food, salads, grilled meat, I had a curry on Friday night. It was my little treat on Friday night, and I thought, brilliant, I'm going to try that, and I was really looking forward to it, and it was horrible. And it made me think a little bit about a few reviews that I've seen recently. Now, I don't know if you watch Simon, who does the real ale craft beer reviews, and I managed to watch one of his reviews, which for the first one I saw was, I can't remember the name of the brewery, but it was like an IPA of some sort, or some craft beer that had been infused with some sort of orange juice or pineapple juice or something like that. His point, anyway, going to the point, his point was, craft beer's taking the mick, because the beer tasted like orange juice, and he'd paid £6 or something for this can, and it just tasted like orange juice. And the point is this beer actually a beer, or is it just, or craft beer breweries just thinking, right, let's just pour loads of juice into this so it tastes nice, and just put like a bit of a malty backbone on it. But I think when you start going onto YouTube, when you start sort of typing in things like that, then you suddenly another one appears. And then he reviewed a Brewdog beer, and it was their Indie Pale Ale. And he's got a bit of a bee in his bonnet about Brewdog at the moment. To be fair, I've always had a bit of a bee in my bonnet about Brewdog for maybe different reasons, but anyway. Yeah, and about that now that they don't own most of the brewery anymore, or it's gone into whatever, other people have got the claws on it. The two fellas that brewed the beer, the head brewers, haven't got as much control anymore, so the beer's basically not as good as it used to be. And this Indie IPA, I've not tried it yet, but everyone says it's basically like a malt. It's like something you'd have at a working man's club, a malty IPA of some sort. So anyway, it got me thinking about, are craft beers taking the mick? Are they taking the mick a little bit? And it's a tough one, because I drink craft beers, and more often than not, especially the supermarket ones these days, I do quite enjoy. But obviously, you've got to take into consideration you're paying £1.50 for something for 330 mils. I'll take this for instance. It's a little bit more, 'cause it's American, so you get 355. Whereas in a bottle of real ale, you get 500 mils. Now, some of these real ales now, as far as I'm concerned, have as much hop quality as some of these craft beers. So things like Proper Job from St Austell Brewery. That's just as good. The new rye hopped whatever it is by Adnams, which I thought that was fantastic. I had that the other day. I thought it was just as nice as a lot of these beers. I could go on. There's loads. Even maybe not the Dumb, not Sharps. The Sharps do one called Fury, and that's okay. That's not the kind of beer I mean, though. Something like Proper Job's a good example, actually. We're getting these really sprightly hops, and to be fair, they're just as good as some of these beers that come in the cans. Most of these beers now are becoming bottle conditioned as well. So you're getting that lovely sort of freshness, but you're also getting like a lovely carbonation, a lovely natural carbonation that makes it really, really drinkable. So yeah, anyway. So at the end of the day, some craft beers. Now I had one the other day. I had one from Vocation Brewery. Classic example of craft beer, and it's brewed with lots of love, and it comes in at $1.50, and I think that's good. And the thing is, what you've got to think about a lot with these beers is that a lot of these craft beers, that you pay for volume as well, alcoholic volume, because they're usually about 6% plus. So you've got to take that into consideration as well, which I do think it's worth it more often than not. But I don't think I've never ever liked the term craft beer. I don't like the term craft beer because what it does is it creates this elitism with these beers. And basically it's saying we're craft beers and they're not. They're real ales. Now, a real ale is almost become like a derogatory term, and I've picked up on this before on my reviews. And I think that's unfair because there's a lot of honest breweries out there that create good quality beers. And just because they're not packed with all these American, a lot of them are now, by the way, but just because they're not packed with these really zazzy hops that everybody seems to be buzzing about at the moment, they kind of not frowned upon, but seen as like, like real ales, like old man beer, I suppose, if you like. And I don't like it, and it's an American term, craft beer. And it's like one of these. It's like a buzzword. It's like, and I'd like everything to become under the same umbrella. Really, I think that's what I like. And I don't like this sort of elitism because it's almost separating the beer world a little bit as well. Because you've got craft beer drinkers now, and you've got real ale drinkers. You've got people like me that go in between. But you tend to get and I don't like that. You're getting this sort of snobbiness that comes from craft beer drinkers, and to be fair, a lot of these craft beers, I had one by Stone Beer Company the other day. I can't remember which one it was. Their Stone IPA, their campaign one's lovely. Yeah, we know that. I had another one though, and it didn't taste that good, and I wasn't impressed at all. Actually, in fact, I didn't think it tasted as nice as a lot of standard real ales from this country. Real ales. So I don't know. I am a bit conflicted. What I worry about is that there's some good honest beers, good honest breweries in this country that do 500ml bottles, good quality, Adnams being one of them, and because they're not craft beers or because they're not in little cans, they're probably, I'm not saying they're going to get neglected because they've got a big range, they've got a big following, but I just worry sometimes that are they going to start dying out, some of these breweries, because of these cans that have got lovely funky artwork on. Yes, they're really, really nice, and I appreciate it because I'm an artist too, so I get it, and I do like the artwork. I think it's very, very nice, but I just wonder sometimes if it's all a bit fake and it's all a little bit short-lived. There's some more arguments though that I've been thinking about as well, and some more things that Simon brought up actually in one of his reviews. It's quite interesting. I've got a few notes here that I've written. Yeah, so right. So like the other thing with craft beer is this. So if you're going to a supermarket now, you've got supermarket craft beers, right? So if you want to get a beer that costs a lot of money, if you want to get something that's really rare, really costs a lot of money, all right, and you want to go you want to go into one of these little speciality sort of off license, whatever you want to call them, beer off, whatever, I don't know. Yeah, one of these little independent beer places, a bit like Elsica. If anyone lives near around here, you'll know Elsica. They've got a little bar there now, and they sell hundreds and hundreds of beers from around the world, some of which are at a bargain price as well, may I add. Some continental lagers actually from Germany. Anyway, I'm going on. I digress again. I feel like I'm digressing. I digress. The point I'm making here is, if you want something that's really expensive, you want something that's really different, something that's really out there, you'll go somewhere like that. You won't go to Tesco's, because that's where you're going to get something that's maybe a one-off batch or a rare. There's they've got Aberdale canned beers and stuff there, and all your other Beavertown and all this jazz. And your Cloud Waters and I could go on forever. And they've also got continental beers as well. So that's where you're going to get your real. But at that same place, it's full of bottled beers by what's classed as real ale companies now, and some of their beers are probably at a similar price to some of these ones that we're talking about now. A good example of this is at Christmas. There's a brewery in Barnsley called Jeeves. You've got Acorn, you've got Jeeves, you've got Stansell, which is now based in Sheffield, which used to be Oakwell. That's another story. But anyway, you've got Jeeves Brewery, and they had like a 330 bottle. It was like a 7.5%. It was a Christmas beer, and it was heaven. It's the nicest Christmas beer I had all Christmas. It was lovely. I can't remember the name of it. It was lovely, and I bought that in there, and yeah, I paid a pretty decent price. But it's from a brewery that do real ales, and where's the line? What distinguished is that? Was that a craft beer that I drunk? Because the other thing about that is that craft beers have a limited production line, don't they? So they can only, to be classed as a craft beer now, you can only produce so many beers or something like that. I don't know. And this is the thing; it's all cloudy and it's all a bit foggy, So yeah, a little bit up and down about the whole craft beer thing. I don't like the word craft beer. I think it's a bit party. It reminds me of Ponzi people that are a bit arrogant. It reminds me of arrogance a bit. I associate craft beer with people that are arrogant. Even though there's a lot of beer reviewers out there that I've got 100% respect for, that review these beers all the time, and I'm not talking about you guys, but it just reminds me of people that think they're better than everybody else, and that's just a personal opinion. All right, don't judge me on that. That's just how I feel about it. Okay, let's go back to some other points. So you've got like these tiers of craft beers. So you go into the supermarket, you've got supermarket craft beers now, and most of them come at $1.50 a can, and you get ones that are more expensive than that. The $1.50 range is really good, I'm not going to lie. At the Vocation Brewery, for instance, a good example of that, you get Stone IPA in there. There's some lovely beers, and they're really good quality. And every now and again you get something like that, which was absolutely foul. It was foul, really, really bad. So yeah, enough ranting about that for now. The other thing about craft beers is they seem to be a little bit of a one-trick pony. It's all IPAs, it's all these like IPAs with all these hops in. But sometimes they say they're blonde beers and they taste just like the IPAs because they've got all the same hops in. They might taste a little bit more maltier or something, but they're a different colour. But they just all taste the same effectively because they've all got these massively punchy hops, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're nice, they're lovely, and you can drink them all day long. But it's a one-trick pony. You get stouts sometimes. You get some of these little craft stouts in these cans, don't you? But what about some milds or some British bitters? Some extra strong British bitters. Some ruby beers. What about a ruby beer that maybe got a little bit of a continental twang to it, maybe, or just brewed with really really nice ingredients. Then again, there might not be a market for it because people want these really hoppy beers. So maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree with that one. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the thing with craft beers, that they kind of do all taste the same. When you think about the vast vocabulary of beer out there, when your stouts and your milds and your porters and your bitters and your blondes and your pale ales and I don't know, all these IPAs, they're okay, but quite samey. But yeah, I remember when Punk IPA first came out, and it was nice, nice beer. It was really expensive, and you did raise an eyebrow and think, is it really worth all the money that they're charging for it? And that was one of the first ones that came on the shelf, and you were like, there's only 330 in there, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was a little bit stronger than the rest, 5.5% or whatever. But I did think, are we really getting, is there something here, or is it a little bit cool? Is it trying to be a bit cool, this? Bit cool? But anyway, I'm going to conclude this now, because I have been going on for nearly 15 minutes. That's a long time, isn't Anyway, the point of the matter is, and I want people to comment, please, today. I want to hear what people's comments. This is why I put this one up, really, so people can discuss this. They can say if they think I'm wrong, or they say if I think I'm talking rubbish, and I probably am to a certain extent. I ain't against craft beers as such. I'm against the word craft beer. I like cans. I really love these cans. I think they're cool, and I think they're nice, and I do think they're fun, you know. And I like taking it. I think the £1.50 ranges. I think the supermarkets have got it spot on there. And you know, when you can get 3 for a fiver, I think that's good. I think that's reasonable, and I think I'm happy with that. It's just when some of them aren't very nice, and some of them are charging, and are they getting away with it a bit? Are they taking the mick? You know, and then and then you look to the side and you think, well, there's these lovely beers here that are 500ml, and some of them are just as good and just as nice. You know, some of these other beers. But I'm gonna finish with a point that Simon also made here on his review channel, and he was going on about his job, I think, or something, because he works. I don't know if he works for a Marsden's pub, or he works for a pub, or he's got his own pub. I'm not sure what the gist is. But he works for a pub, and in this pub they have to serve loads of idiots, just like you do in a pub. And I think he was talking about like how some of them give him a bit of beef about beers being slightly knocked, so they go a bit cloudy and all this sort of jazz. Where am I going with this one? You know, you just forget what you're talking about, you're just waffling for so long. But yeah, but we've kind of gone past, and he was saying that, like, yeah, some people, like, you get these people come in, and this is the thing with real ale drinkers, because real ale drinkers get mardy about stuff as well, you know. They're just as bad. They're just as bad as some of the people that want these Guinnesses that have been agitated in these machines that they have now, and then give them the perfect head, you know, the perfect Guinness head that you can never ever balance a 1 pence on, may I add. But the real ale drink can be just as funny about stuff and just as stuffy, and they can put people off real ale, you know. It's like they're just as bad. But what I don't like is there's some honest breweries out there that are still attracting to younger audiences, and they are still doing their thing, you know, and it just because they're not doing wow, zazzy hops and little cans that have got cool little artwork on, you know. I think we've got to, and I like the heritage behind a lot of beers as well. There's nothing like drinking a beer and associating it with something, you know, with a little story, with a bit of history, with a bit of a narrative behind it. I think that's kind of nice too. I like that, you know, that's part of our heritage. But going back to a point that Simon made, which I am going to get to at some point, we're in a different era now, and we're not in an era where there's loads of people red hot and they've come in from the steelworks and they want to just neck pint after pint after pint after pint of relatively weak beer, and that's malty, that's nice, that's quaffable. You know, when you come in from work, and you know, I don't work in a steelworks. My dad used to, but he's a cleaner now. You know, and he was probably one of the last people in Sheffield to have a job in the steelworks. You know, everybody I know works in an office, or I'm a teacher, so I work in front of a, you know, I don't work in a steelworks. I don't work in that environment where I just want to come home and drink loads and loads of beer. I come home at night, and I rarely drink in the week anyway, but I might do one on a Friday, and I think what I'd rather have is a really nice can of craft ale that might be 9%, or it might be 7% or something, but I'll just drink that, watch the TV, and, you know, and slip off and just relax and just feel really nice. You know, I don't feel like going drink. I feel like having something a little bit more select. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I get that, and I think we are living in that sort of culture, and I would rather drink something, but this is the thing, innit? How can we guarantee that there's quality in that beer? And especially, and Brewdog have been bragging for years and years and years, they're good at, their quality is amazing and everything, and now they've got the cheek to sell things like this indie IPA, which sounds crap. And you know, we've got to draw the line a little bit here. And again, it's all about corporations taking over, just the same old story, wrecking everything for everybody. And it seems like they're going to be doing that for beer as well now. On that bombshell, tell me what you think about craft ales. Tell me what you think about real ales. Tell me what you think about stuff like that. Please subscribe if you're interested. Please put a thumbs up if you like what I'm saying. If you don't like what I'm saying, put a thumbs down. If you've got any suggestions or any bargain beers you want me to review, please put them in the comments box too. I'd love to hear what you're interested in, and I might just do that. But until next time, I'll see you around. And God, 20 minutes, just gone over 20 minutes. Eek. Take it easy.